morning, students. As you are ready, Unit 5, 5 Children and It. 5 Children and It. It is written by Edith Nesbit. It means who is the author of this story? Edith Nesbit. So, we have done its hard words and we have already read one part. Today we will do its remaining part. So what we knew in this chapter, this story is about 5 children, okay, who came to the countryside to spend their summer vacation. But suddenly they got bored and they go outside for fun. But there where they met with a monster, okay, so how they could adventure with this monster, okay, we will see in next part. So before reading our chapter, we will do words meaning of this chapter. Okay, now first one is HUSKY, husky, VOICE, voice, husky voice. Husky voice, it means a voice that is low and rough. Okay, a voice that is low and rough. Sometimes you have a cold and cough, so that time your voice is also low and rough. Okay, so that is called husky voice, a voice that is low and rough. INDIGNANDLY, indignantly. Indignantly it means angrily. Indignantly it means angrily. So when the monster saw those children, so it was looking in very angry manner. That is called indignantly. Now MOAPS, moats. Moats it means deep white holes that are dug around a fort or castle to protect it from being attacked. Okay, so what is the meaning of moats? Deep white holes. Deep white holes that are dug around the fort or castle for what? To being attacked. To protect from being attacked. That is called moats. So in ancient time, there was a hole. There was a holes in the ground. Okay, in the ground around the fort or castle. Why? Because that reason was behind that digging the holes, so being protected by the enemies. Okay, being protected by the enemies, so that is called moats also. Okay, now grumpy. Grumpy means crossly, as if in a bad manner. Okay, as if in a bad manner, that is called grumpy. Now, COLLAPSED, it's collapsed. Collapsed, it means shrunk. Shrunk, shrunk. Okay, collapsed. Now, next is HOWLED, hauled. Hauled, it means made a loud sound in pain or sadness. Okay, so when someone is sad or when someone is in pain, so that time which voice was making by that person or that creature, that is called hauled. Okay, hauled, it means made a loud sound in pain or sadness. Wear off. Wear off, it means will slowly disappear. So when something is disappear slowly, that is called wear off. Okay, so it was our words meaning. Now let me do our remaining chapter.
So on the beach, they met with Samoyed and they talked with them. Okay, and they talked with them, and after discussion, they knew Samoyed is not bad. Samoyed is not dangerous. Okay, so due to some human activities, their number is going to be decreased. Okay, so we will read our next page. Please stay, said the children, and Jan added, can you grant us wishes like a real fairy? Then children said to the Samoyed to stay with them. Then Jen added, "Can you grant us wishes like a real fairy?" So Jen told to the Samiad, "Can you fulfill our wish just like a real fairy?" "I just did," it said. "You wished I had come out, and I did." Then Samiad, that creature, told to the Jinn, "I have fulfilled your wish. Just I did it. Your wish was that I had to come out, then I did it. I had to come out from my hole." "Oh, please, can we have another one?" asked Jen. So Jen told to the Samiat, that's a strange creature, "We are talking about another wishes. So can you fulfill this wish?" "If you must," it said grumpily. "But hurry up about it." Grumpily, it means crossly if the person in bad mood. So that time Samiat was in bad mood. Okay, he got irritated. So he said to the Jen, "Okay, but I will fulfill your wish, but you have to hurry up about it." "Please," said Anthea, remembering a wish that she and Jen had talked about. Then Anthea and Jen talked about their wishes, and they were thinking about their wishes. Then they told to the Samiad, "We wish we were very, very beautiful." So they had a wish as they were very, very beautiful in the world. The Samiad stretched out its eyes on their stalks and seemed to hold its breath and puff itself out until it was twice its normal size. So, after listening their wish, Samiad stretched out its eyes, and he stalks and seemed to hold its breath and puff itself until it was twice its normal size. He hold his breath. He hold his breath and puff itself also. "I hope it doesn't hurt itself," said Anthea. When Anthea saw this condition, this situation, then that time Anthea said, "I hope it doesn't hurt itself or crack its skin," Robert said anxiously. Then Robert was also worried about that. So Robert also anxiously said, "Oh, this this does not make a reason when it cracks its skin." Then the Samiat suddenly let out its breath and collapsed down to its usual size. Then suddenly Samiat let out its breath. Okay, because he has a hold its breath from long time. So suddenly he let out its breath and collapsed down to its usual size. Okay, collapsed, it means shrunk. Suddenly he shrunk its size, and now this time he get in its usual size. "I hope that didn't hurt," said Anthea. Then Anthea asked to the Samiat, "I hope it didn't hurt you, what you have done this time, for fulfill our wishes." "Just my whisker," it said. "You are a kind and thoughtful child." Then Samiat told to the Anthea, "You are a kind and thoughtful." Thoughtful, it means when someone cares to the other peoples. When someone cares to the other peoples, that is called thoughtful. Okay, so this time Anthea was worried about Samoyed. Okay, because Samoyed had hurt himself to fulfill their wish. So this time Anthea was very worried about Samoyed. So she asked with Samoyed, I hope it didn't hurt you. When Samoyed listened this word, then he told to the Anthea, you are very kind and thoughtful child. Quickly it buried itself in the sand again, and the children looked at each other. So after going out to the Samoyed, they were looking at them. Okay, they were looking at them. Okay, they were looking to each other. वो एक दूसरे को देख रहे थे. Each of them was looking at three astonishingly. Astonishingly, it means they were looking themselves. They were looking each other surprisingly. Okay, surprisingly, because now this time they are changed. Their faces was also changed. Why? Because this time their wishes was fulfilled. Okay, so they were looking very beautiful, Anthea and Jen also. Okay, now it was like looking at a strange. If it hadn't been for their clothes, they wouldn't have known each other. If they were not wear clothes, so they were not identified to each other. Okay, so by clothing they can identify to each other. Okay, because this time their faces was changed, क्योंकि इस समय उनकी फेसेस चेंज हो गई थी और उन्होंने क्लॉथ वियर कर रखे थे, तो क्लॉथ के थ्रू जो थे वो एक दूसरे को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते थे. सो दिस टाइम दे कैन आइडेंटिफाई टू ईच अदर बाय क्लॉथिंग. ओके, बाय क्लॉथ्स. नाउ Cyril, you look like a golden haired angel, said Cynthia. Okay, so now this time Cynthia said to the Cyril, this time you are looking like a golden haired angel. It's not like you. I think I liked you and Robert better before. Okay, now, and you two girls look like silly greeting cards, said Robert. So now Robert admitted here, so you two girls are looking like a silly greeting cards. Let's go home, it must be dinner time. Okay, so now this time was going to be very long, so they decided to go at their home. Okay, because this was now dinner time. I'll carry the lamb, it means little baby. Okay, I'll carry the lamb, said Anthea. Anthea said, I will carry the lamb, this little baby. And the baby, who had woken up, took one look at her and howled. Howled, it means made a loud sound in pain or sadness, because the baby was not aware about this situation. Okay, because the baby was not aware about this situation, so he or she was not resemble to them. So when the children tried to pick him up, he only fought and kicked. Okay, because बच्चे जो थे वो पहचान में नहीं आ रहे थे, रिजेंबल नहीं हो पा रहे थे, एंड लिटिल बेबी वॉज नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दैट. सो whenever they tried to pick him up, so only he fought and kicked to them. It was an hour before the lamb would let them carry him home, and by that time the lamb was as hungry as a lion and as thirsty as a desert. So this time the lamb, it means little baby, was hungry as a lion and the thirsty as a desert. Okay, here is comparison from lion and the thirsty. Okay, now when they reached the house, Jen was almost falling under a lamb's weight. She was glad to hand him to Martha. Okay, so when they reached the home, so this time Jen was almost falling under, and the lamb's weight because little baby was heavy. So she was glad to hand him to Martha, and who was waiting for them at the door. Martha snatched him from her baby, okay, because Martha was also not resembling that children, okay, their faces were changed, so Martha was also confused. Who are they? But Martha only know about the children. Martha was only resembling the little baby, so she snatched her little baby from those children. Okay, so who on earth are you? She demanded. What are you doing with our baby? Then Martha was asking to them, what are you doing with my baby? We are us, said Robert. I'm Robert. Then Robert admitted here to Martha, we are us. We are us. It means here Robert was trying to make understand Martha. So we are your children. But here the Martha was not able to resembling them. So Robert said, I am Robert and I am Cyril, said Cyril. Let us in. Please, we know we look different, but began Anthea. Okay, so now Anthea ने start किया. Anthea began to say, we know we are looking different, but we are your children. I don't know who you lot are or what you are up to, snapped Martha. Then Martha said to them, children, I don't know. Who are you? You lot. Okay, you lot, it means a way of saying you all. Okay, so in this way Martha was saying to the children, you have to go away from here because she didn't know. Okay, now but if our children put you up to his days, they'll be in trouble. Shoo! She shut the door in their faces, and Martha shut the door in their faces. The children banged at the door and rang the bell. Okay, so this time when the Martha shut the door in their faces, then children was banged at the door and rang the bell continuously. But it was no good. Okay, they wandered away down to the lane and hungry, thirsty, and stunningly. Okay, so they wandered here and there. Okay, they were very thirsty, they were very hungry and stunningly beautiful, finally tired and with nowhere to go, they sat down under a hedge. So when they got tired, so they sat down under a hedge, and it will wear off at sunset, said Jen. They will look normal again. So after sunset, they will slowly appearing appearing with previously faces. Okay, so now this time when the sunset is there, then slowly they will disappear, and now this time they were appearing just like as previously faces. Okay, अब वो पहले की तरह दिखने लगे थे. Okay, now then huddled together for comfort, they fell asleep. When Anthea awoke, the sun had set. It's all right, she cried. We are ordinary again. So now this time children were very feel comfortable. Okay, children were feeling comfortable because now after the sunset they were looking ordinary. Okay, they were looking ordinary again. So where do you think you have been, demanded Martha when they got home. So once again when they got home, Martha was standing at the door. Then Martha asked to them, children, where you were they? Okay, तुम कहाँ थे? Okay, now we had some very strange children here this afternoon. They were horrible, said Anthea. Okay, said Anthea. Anthea was saying to the Martha, they were very horrible. They stopped us from coming home until now, and we only just got away and we are starving. So Anthea said to the Marthas, in afternoon we saw some very strange children and they stopped us from coming home. Now we only just got away and we were starving. So, well, don't you go near them again, said Martha. Then Martha said to the Anthea and the children, other children, don't go near them again. Them again, it means that strange children. Okay, don't go near that strange children. So, as a cook brought in a supper that looked and smelled delicious, we will take good care to never see them again, and said Robert, and they never have to go. Okay, so that was the story, and that was the adventure which the children had done with Samoyed. Okay, so I hope you must have enjoyed with this chapter.